So today we'll go through the events, okay? So till now we have discussed only few events. We'll cover in details today, okay? So first event that will be called is initialization, okay? Then add selection screen output, add selection screen, startup selection, and selection, add the line selection, then here add selection screen on value request, add selection screen on help request, top of page, end of page. Okay, so these are the events available, okay, in SAP in a report program. Okay, so first one is the initialization. Initialization, okay, let us put a breakpoint in each of the thing so that we'll understand. Okay, I haven't started the recording. And the selection breakpoint, deadline selection, page. So I activated executing. Okay. So what is the first event getting called, guys? Initialization. Okay. Initialization. Then next is startup selection. Okay. Then end of selection done. Okay. Now add selection screen and add selection screen output didn't called by the system. Okay. So the first method getting called is initialization. So what you can do is the name is sufficient, initialization. So you should understand that. Initializing variables, authorization checks. Okay. So let's say, depending on something, some condition, you want to initialize. For example, select options as date, okay. So here one option is default. I can do try that term. EKKO be that. Okay. So this I didn't discuss with you why you are getting this error. Table work area. Okay, table work area. So everyone now understand what is a work area, right? What is a work area? So now in a select option, we're telling that the type of SDAT should be this, okay? And we are referring EKKO here, okay? So system is telling that it doesn't know this field, okay? So what you have to do, you have to define the table work area. Define table work area. The syntax is tables, then you can give EKKO. Okay, so table keyword, table keyword. Table keywords defines the table work area. Once the table work area is defined, a database table can be referred in type declaration. So this is one of the users of table work area. Okay, unless and until you define the table work area, will not be able to use the table in this. Second option, I'll just pause because this will be covering in today's section, today's session, but I'll just pause it. I'll just explain one more point on table work area, then we'll go to the events. Okay. So let's say select EBLN from EKKO, select single. Okay. Window. Okay. So now or we can write select star probably. Okay. Select star. Okay. So we are able to fetch the data from the table, and also the data is getting inserted to a table work area. So this is nothing but it will EKKO will work as a work area. So here in the select statement, EKKO is also a work area. So this is a table work area. Second option is once table work area is defined, it is like it becomes a data object and can be used in the program like other work area. Okay. Okay. So this is one utility. Let us define an internal table. Data LT EKKO type table of EKKO, initial size 0. Select star from EKKO into table LT EKKO up to 10 rows. Okay, so now here so we are only selecting 10 rows. Okay, so new syntax for you, up to 10 rows. You can also write up to 5 rows. So how many rows you specify, those many rows will only be fetched. So let's say the selection criteria matches 100 records, but you have written up to 5 rows. So only the first 5 rows will be selected. Okay. So now I'm fetching 5 rows here. I can look at screen, LT EKKO into EKKO. Let's see if that works. Yeah, it's working. Now EKKO, it is a database table, right? Is a database table. But we are able to use EKKO as a work area. So that's why the name is table work area. Is it clear, guys, for everyone?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
sir,
Yes.
sir, in the previous select statement, you wrote from EKKO to EKKO. Sir, I have a
Into.
doubt in that statement. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Here.
Yes, sir, this one.
Yes.
And sir, also what is single star?
Single. We already discussed what is single. Select single. Okay. What is star? What is star?
All.
Star means all field.
All.
Okay. Here we are not specifying. Previously, how we are writing select EBLN, then BE dot like this, right? So we're specifying a field list. So here we are not specifying the field list. We are telling that star means select all fields. Okay. And what is select single? We already discussed. It will only select single record. Okay. So if I remove select single, what will happen, Sobhagya?
All the records will get selected.
No, it will give me a syntax error. Okay. Incorrect nesting. Because the into clause, the data object is a work area. Into clause, data object is a work area. It can only store one variable. So either we have to use select single or we have to use, if we are using into a work area and we want multiple, then we can write select and select and we can code it here. We discussed this one of the classes, Sobhagya.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. So select, you are not there in that class?
No, sir, I was absent on that class.
1 second. I think we have select and select. We have discussed already select and select on day 15th. I guess maybe you are not there. Okay, so you can search Saubhagya, select
Yes,
and
sir, I'll
select.
follow.
It's a loop. Okay, it's kind of a loop. Okay. So everyone is clear now. What is table work area?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, that's fine. I don't need this. Okay. So now I have written default side atom. Okay. So by default side atom means current date and it's defaulting. But let's say it is not that much straightforward. Maybe data is coming from some other table. Okay. So here I don't know, or we have to do some calculation. Okay. Or previous day, yesterday days. Can I do like this? Side atom -1. No. Okay, let us try. Now, let's say by default, okay, when I execute, so if I give side atom, okay, it's coming as side atom, 1st of November, okay. But what if we want to default the value of yesterday, okay, then this is not taking -1, okay, so we have to incorporate some kind of coding. So where you will do, you will be doing that in the initialization, okay. So how to do that? S date. How many fields are there in a select option, guys? Select option. Select option is an internal table. How many fields are there in the internal table? Hmm?
Five, sir. So four.
4 fields. What are the names? Sign, option, low, high. Everybody able to recall this class? Select option is an internal table. Guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
now I want to default the value. So first field is sign. What are the possible values for sign? What are the possible values
I,
for
E,
Equals EQ.
I
I,
and
E.
E?
E.
Option. What is the value I should use for option here in my case?
EQ, sir.
EQ. Excellent. Equal to S date low is datum -1. Okay, guys, here a tip for you. Okay, a tip for you. SAP has a date data type, right? SAP has a data type for dates. Okay, that is type D. This is so much of advantage. Okay, I really appreciate that SAP has this date data type. It's not character. So what will happen if something is date data type? You can do arithmetic operation on the date. Arithmetic operation means, let's say you want to derive the date after 15 days. Okay, so today is 1st November. What will be the day after 15 days? So simply you can write datum or any variable plus 15. So this syntax will give you the date of 15 days after date. You can also LV date result equal to LV date 1 minus LV date 2. You can also do this. Okay, so let the value of this and this you can do, then we'll get the result. How many days difference? Okay, you can also write that LV date result is equal to LV date 1 plus 10 or 365 or 35 like this. Okay, so it's becomes very easy. Okay, so what is the yesterday date? I don't need any logic, complicated logic. I can directly write side atom -1, then append s date. Is this syntax is correct? Will it work, or I'll get syntax error? Guys, this is a right syntax or wrong syntax?
Correct.
Hmm?
Correct.
Right. Okay, why right? Why right? There is no to statement here.
Sir, in SAP append automatically understand it.
Because select option is a internal table with header line.
Yes, sir.
It's a internal table with header line. That's the reason even if there is no to statement, it is right. Okay. So let us try. Is it 31st October, guys? Is it
Yes.
31st October? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we are initializing a variable. So which event we are calling, guys? System is calling which event we are using? Initialization. Okay. Everyone is clear what is event?
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Events are the, like, we can call something, it will be called by the system automatically. It has a time or a trigger point or something like that, or a user interaction that will trigger it. Okay, so that is a event, and here we are handling the event. Okay, so initialization event is used to initializing the variable if required. Okay, another is authorization check. Can you memorize this guy, please? Because today's class will come in the interview for sure, 100%. 100%. Or rest of the time I say 80%, 70%, but 100% of your interview that you're gonna attend, they will ask this event. At least they will ask what are the event available. So you have to tell that. Initialization, at selection screen, at selection screen output, at selection, you can name those. Okay. So now they will ask what is the use of initialization. So initializing the variable. This point is very clear. Can you memorize the second point, guys? Authorization check. Okay, what is authorization check? I'm not gonna discuss more into that. That is more advanced concept. Okay, but you can understand that everybody will not have access to every T codes in production. Okay, everyone will not have access to every T code. So there will be authorization check. Okay, let's say we want to give this report to only to the person who has the authorization. Then the under initialization, you have to write the initialization. So we have something called authorization object. Okay, authorization object. Through authorization object, we can do the validation whether the right authorization is there. Who are interested, you can search this, but we will not be covering that. Okay, but you can tell that we can do a authorization check in the initialization event. Okay, the second event is at selection screen output. Okay, so now authorization initialization is called. The second is the at selection screen output. So before the selection screen getting displayed, this event will be called. So let's say there is no select option or parameter. Okay, there is no select option or parameter. So in that case, there will be no selection screen. Okay, so now in my case, there is no select option or parameter. So when I execute, nothing is happening. Okay, nothing is happening because if selection screen is not there and we click on execute, the start of selection will directly called. Okay, at selection screen output, at selection screen will not be called. Okay, so these two events will be called when there is a selection screen, which means either there is at least one parameter or at least one select option. Okay, so now I'm executing that selection screen output. Okay, let me put a breakpoint here also. Breakpoint. So first is getting called initialization, then at selection screen output, then selection screen is displayed. Okay, before displaying the screen, at selection screen output will be called. Now selection screen is displayed. You do any kind of interaction in the screen, it will called at selection screen. So it is a interview question. Okay, what is the difference between at selection screen output and at selection screen? Okay, the difference is at selection screen output will be called before displaying the selection screen. At selection screen will be called when we do the interaction. Okay. So now what is the use of at selection screen? We already covered this, right? Did we cover this, guys? We done loop at screen, right? Dynamic modifications of selection screen. If that is the case, at selection screen output will be called. Guys, are you able to recall this? At selection screen output? Guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now we'll see what is at selection screen. Okay. So okay, so now I'm at the selection screen. I click on execute. Now at selection screen is getting called, then start of selection is getting called, end of selection, and nothing is happening. That's fine. Okay, because let me write something here. Okay. Okay. What I'll do, I'll copy yesterday's program, the select query I need. Okay, so these two things I'll copy here. This is not the right program. Okay, so what I need is when I execute, okay, then I provide some values here, like selection criteria, and when I execute, nothing is happening. Okay, so let me remove the breakpoints, then I can explain. Okay, so here I'm executing, nothing is happening, so I'm clueless what's happening. Okay, so what I want to do, in case there is no data been fetched from the table, I should give a message to the user. Okay, that there is no data found, and please try to change the filter. Okay, so that kind of thing we can write inside at selection screen. So what we can write, select single EKKO. The same thing I can copy. Here, but I don't need the entire data. So what I'm looking for is that at least one record is there in the table. So I can write single, select single, this from EKKO into LSPO final. Okay, and this not table. Order by is not allowed. Okay, in select single. Okay, fine. So now what I have done, I'm using a select query with select single. So I don't want all the data. Okay, so I need at least one data is available. That means we have the data. So if size subversive not equal to 0, I can write message no data corresponds to the selection criteria type E. I'll explain this statement, okay? But let us see what's happening, okay? So I given the selection criteria, I execute, and I'm getting an error message here. Okay, I'm getting an error message. No data correspond to the selection criteria. Okay, so now when I click on execute, the at selection screen is getting called. And here I'm checking at least one record present in the database with the selection criteria that user has given. If there is no record, then I am displaying this thing. Is this thing clear, guys? At selection screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, yes, there is, what is the next event of at selection screen? This is start of selection. Okay. And start of selection is selecting the data and printing it on the list screen. Okay. So if I put a breakpoint here, start selection screen. So now we are only getting the error. Now it is not going to the debugger. That means the start of selection is not getting called. The reason is we are raising a error message. We are getting a error message. Okay. So new things for you guys today. Messages. Okay. Messages. Okay. So through messages, we can show information to the user, explaining user with a text. Okay, so this is message. Message is very simple, as the name says, we are giving a message. Okay, and there is type of message, types. Okay, so here what is the type we have used, guys? E. Type is E. E means error, S means success, W means warning. I means information, A means append, X means short term. Okay. So when error messages happen at any point of execution, once the error message is raised, system will stop the processing. It will stop at this moment. It will stop. So that's the reason the start of the next event of start at selection screen is start of selection. Okay. So now when we raise a error message, the processing will stop here. It will not go to the next line. Okay. Give me a moment, guys. Okay. So it will stop the processing here. It will not go to the next line. So let us see again. Okay. Let us put a breakpoint here. So debugger started. So now we are inside which event at selection screen. Now message, then it stopped. Then again if I do any interaction again, at selection screen will be called, and again it will stop there. It is not proceeding further. If I make it as S, so message is displayed. Now it went to start of selection. Okay. So we are getting the message, but the system is not stopping the flow of the program. It is proceeding to the next. Okay. So success system will show the message and continue with next lines. Is it clear, guys? Success and error, the difference is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Then next is warning. Okay, so warning is W, and if I execute, debugger is starting. Now message is display. Now this is showed in yellow. Okay, so the error is red. This is red. Success is green. Warning is yellow. Okay, so if you hit enter, it will proceed to the next line. Okay, is it clear? So warning will stop. It will stop the processing when message is raised. It will proceed for next step once we hit enter. If you don't want to proceed, then you can stop. You can go put /n or something like that. Okay, so it kind of a warning. It's saying that this may happen. Do you want to proceed? If you want to proceed, hit enter. Okay, so this is warning. Is it clear, guys? What is warning?
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Another is information. Okay, so what will happen if you do this? Debugger is starting this message. Okay, it is showing the message in a pop-up. It will show the message in pop-up. Okay, and there is a OK. Continue, it will continue. Okay, pop-up and open, clicking continue. It will continue with next lines of code. Okay, so here user, it will go to the next line only after confirmation of the user. Okay, information. Another is the append. Okay, so let's see what's happening. The message is raised. Now same thing we're getting in a pop-up, but there is no continue. It's exit. You click exit, it will come out of that program. Okay, append. It will show the message in pop-up. After clicking exit, it will exit the program. Is it clear, guys? Information and append, what is the difference? Everyone is clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Another is short dump. We generally don't use this type in our program. Never. Should not use also, but I'm showing you what will happen. This type of message should be raised by the system only. Okay. Type is X. Runtime. Certain. You're getting this dump. Okay, here is the error analysis. No data correspond to the selection criteria. So we should not use this error, a message type in our program. Should not be used. Should not be used in the program. Short term should always be raised by the system. Is it clear, guys? And this screen is known as dump. This is a dump. We can say runtime error or dump. Here is a debugger option also. You can click debug in. And you can see where this short dump happened. So here is the point where the short dump happened. Okay. Everyone is clear on messages, type of messages?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now is the syntax. Syntax. Okay, so this is a syntax. Type 1. Okay, this is a syntax. You can use the keyword message, then the text of the message and the type. Is there any question on this type, guys? Any question on this syntax?
No, sir.
No. Okay. So now this is not advisable. Not advisable because this text cannot be translated. Okay. So what is the second approach? Using message class. Okay. Message class. The T code for message class is SC91. Okay, so we can go to SC91. This is the T code to create a message class. Okay, so now I'll create a message class Z purchasing or ZMM. MM_P or something like this, and click on create. Okay, you can write it here. Message class for purchase order. Okay, and here we have the messages. Okay, so now you can save it in any of the packages, and this text, instead of maintaining here, I can maintain here. Okay, no data correspond to the selection criteria. Okay, so now what is the message number, guys? Here 000. If one message class can contain messages up to 99999 messages, it will content. Okay, so this message number is 001. The message class is ZMM_PO. So instead of writing this, I can write message, then type of the message number, and message class. Okay, now I'll execute. The same message is getting displayed, but this message is not hard coded. Okay, so we created a message class ZMM_PO, and where you created a message 000. Okay, so how to raise a success message? Same message type, then the message number, then MMPO. Okay, is it clear, guys, this syntax?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is okay. One more thing is, let's say you want to pass some variables. Okay, pass some variables. Okay, so here the text is hard coded. Okay, so I want to see that no record found on the date this. So this is dynamic. It can be 31st. So I'm running the report with 31st as a date. I want to show the message is no record found for the document date this 31st. If I run it as 30, it should give me 30. So it is a variable I want to use. Okay. So what you have to do is I will create a new one for reference. No PO found for that date. And here I want to write 31st October or something like this. So that's a variable I can give &1. &1. I can specify 4 variable &1, &2, &3, &4. But in my case, I only want one variable &1. So which means this &1 will be replaced with some value which I'll be passing when raising the message. Okay, so how you will pass? You can write E110. And here you have to pass with S date low. Okay. So now low has my value, which will be replaced there with &1. So let us check. No PO found for the date 31st. If I make it as a 30. Okay. So this is done by the variable. Okay. I can also, wherever you place this variable, that place will be replaced with the actual value. If I do like this, so now the date is getting replaced here. Okay. Is it clear, guys? What is a variable in message?
Yes.
Okay. So there can be maximum four variable can be used in a message. Okay. And this is another syntax. Another syntax is if you want to make the, here we are hard coding the message. We are hard coding the message type. We are hard coding the message number. We are hard coding the message class. If you don't want that, you want everything to be dynamic, you can write message type message ID. And here I can write LB message ID, or you can write here, okay, LB message ID. Okay, ID type is LB message type. Number is LB message number with ls date low. Okay, and I have to define two variables. No, not two, three variables. Data LV message ID type 10 value 8 mmpo LP message number type 3 value 001 and LV message type value is. Okay, so now the message number type ID are saved in a variable, and I'm using that variable to raise a message. So nothing is hard coded here. Okay, so let us see. Debugger is getting started. I'm getting the same result, but here this becomes more dynamic. What message I want to raise, that message ID, message type, and message number are dynamic. I can assign the value. If we go through that, always the same message number and ID will be raised. Okay, so this is another syntax, more dynamic. Okay, so two options are there. Okay, we can go for this one or this one. Is it clear, guys?
So show the code again.
Yes.
Sir,
Yes.
where did we get LV message ID, LV message type?
In the top, three variables or data object we created here.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so what you can do here, I'm directly assigning, but you can write a code to decide which message ID to use, which message number to use, and which message type to. You can, it's become more dynamic. Okay, in our case, I made it simple, just assign the value, but you can write a code, save the values of the ID, number, and type, and you can use that to raise a message. Okay, you can. Is it clear, guys? Everyone?
Yes, sir. Sir, both the
Okay.
ways are acceptable, right?
Yeah. This is any two of the. This is this line number 123. We generally do not do. It's more vast, and those kind of scenario
Yes,
are
sir.
very less likely to come. So most preferable is this one. Line number 122.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. Yes. And let's say okay, so there is a syntax display like. I'm raising an error message. So error message should be displayed in red. I'm saying, yeah, it's an error message, but display is a success. So now it's becoming as a red success message. But it's the behavior of the message will depend on this only, but how it will be displayed. So that you can change. Sometime we raise a error message and we use we sometimes we raise a success message, but we display like error. So we can like write message type S, display like E. Okay, so this is another thing. Okay. So it totally depends on the requirement. Okay. So execute. Okay, so now message is raised. Okay, so now if I go here, Thai MSGIT, Thai MSGNO, Thai MSG V1. No, sorry, Thai MSG type, Thai MSG V1, V2, V3, V4. So these are the system variable that will be filled with the message details, which is being raised by the system. I think another one also will be there. Let me check. Here, message ID, message type, message number, message V1, V2, V3, V4. That's it. Only that those are the system variables which get filled with this message.